name is Jessica Maria Nassif. I'm French and Lebanese. I was born in Nice in the south of France. And after a few years, my dad we had to move away to Saudi Arabia for 10 years for work. So I lived in Riyadh for 10 years. And then in 2003, there was terrorist attacks against expats. So we moved to Beirut, where I did my BA in art direction, advertising and branding. Then I decided in 2014 to become a freelance designer. I had some clients in Ivory Coast and Abidjan, so I moved there for a few years. I created my company in branding and events. And then I decided to switch completely my path because I wanted to change from the commercial aspect of design and explore a more experimental one. The name of the performance is Mix Match and Start from Scratch.
Life, can you believe that? I wasn't raised on Tupperware. So I went to the party really thinking I wasn't gonna buy anything because, I didn't need Tupperware.
In my work, I try to play with performances, interactive design, AI, installation. So my work is always an installation and the performance that happened into it. I explore the notions of language and communication in regards to surveillance structures. So I'm really interested in voice and the possibility that voice can betray or save in different contexts, depending on those governmental surveillance structure.
I was mesmerized. Or you're the before, honey. Don't worry, because I was the before. But this is why we're here today. I'm gonna give you lots of tips.
Mix Match and Start from Scratch is a live performance taking the pretext of hosting a Tupperware party to raise awareness on sound surveillance that's present in our smart objects that we invite into our private space.
How many of you have one of these big food processors at home with 25 million pieces? So inconvenient. Today, I have the 3-blade chopper from Tupperware. Didn't you buy this at the last Tupperware party? Yeah, you did. So at my last Tupperware party, I met Rosario and Arnaud. Let's actually thank our hosts for being here today. Woo!
The Tupperware party back in the 50s, there was the first, most famous ones to commercialize the private space. So I tried to do this kind of comparison. So the whole thing was to trick the artificial intelligence throughout the performance through metaphors, through ways of speaking, through also the text I'm using. Throughout all my research, I was trying to find a loophole in the system, like how can I trick it? I started to contact a voice coach, and she helped me also trying to find ways of tricking it. So we played around a lot with it.
What you say is converted to text based on these learning our speaking habits and patterns. Our words, but also the characteristics of our voice, is being corrected, analyzed, and retained. The trick to keep a clean Tupperware is to constantly change your habits and not to follow a pattern.
Which was what's interesting also in the performance is that they will understand at the end, even if you do some tricks, she'll understand at some point the trick, and you have to always change the trick. So it's always kind of not settling into the routine, always changing your ways of doings. And so it was also a message of the performance at the end. It's like always mix, match, and then start from scratch.
We take, and every sound we make, every word we
But the aim is
say.
to raise awareness on the surveillance that we don't necessarily think about because it's invisible, and that's the main aim of the work for now. I think I'm going to try to always be ahead in a way, like not ahead, but try to reflect on what can happen and what will happen, like in a very always. So I think that the last performance I'm creating is also on this next step. It's always thinking of what can happen next, because also what is interesting is that our voices are recorded now, but we don't know what's happening with them in the future.
It's a text based on deep learning from our speaking habits and patterns.
Everything we're doing now can be used against us in the future.